Okay, guys, we are in the sixth meeting. It's about language and culture for the cross and multicultural understanding course. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, let's start with the definition of language. Okay, so based on Keraf in 1918, page 3, language as one element of culture has a very important role in human life. Language allows a person communicating with others and meeting their needs. Thus, it can be said that is the main function is of language as a communication tool. This it doesn't mean that the language has only one function. Another function is as a tool to express self-expression, a tool to make integration and social adaptation, as well as a tool to hold social control. Based on this function, also mentioned that language is a means of communication between members of the public symbol of the sound produced by means of said human. It is also in Keraf 1918, page 1. So similar opinion was also expressed by Stindoan, who states about language is a symbol of the sound produced by means of said human, and the system has means that are arbitrary used by men in her life as a mean of communication between each other to form, express, and communicate thoughts and feelings, cultural, social natures. So, based on the notion described above, it is clear that the language was intended in this paper is a communication tool produced by the tool, just like man has said, symbol, system, meaning, and social are arbitrary and culturally. Every language has a symbol, where the symbol already contains the concept or understanding in order to for the meaning of the symbols are understood. Every language user must understand and follow the system language is used. Language system contains rules and or rules that must be obeyed by the user's language. If not obeyed, delivery information may be chaotic or communication cannot happen. Language are arbitrary, meaning no direct relationship between the symbol with the symbolized. Symbolic emergence of an object is based on the convention. However, even so, to be able to understand language must be studied and used as a communication tool. And this is the definition of culture. Culture is the whole communication system that binds and allows operation of a set of people called the public. This culture can be defined as a system of rule of communication and interaction that allow the society occurs, preserve, and preserve. So culture that gives meaning to all business and human movement. This is based on Nababan 1984. So based on the definition above clearly shows that between human and culture are inseparable. Similarly, between the Indonesian and Indonesian culture, this is because human beings live alongside Indonesia in a unit area of ethnic communities, also live in a unity of the Republic Indonesia. Republic in English. In this regard, they hold one culture according to the conception of inside archipelago. Indonesia is the national culture based on Geria 1996. Culture can also be interpreted as the activities and the creation of mind, reason, people like faith, art, and so on. For example, Chinese culture, culture of Indonesia, and Japanese culture. This is based on Purwadarminta 1983. Based on this understanding, we can say that only humans have culture. This is due to living things is people who have sense and reason to generate culture. So, what is the relationship between culture and language? Um, Courage has explained the major function of language from the following three aspects. Language is the primary vehicle of communication, and language reflects both the personality of the individual and the culture of his history. In turn, it helps shape both personality and culture. And three, language makes possible the growth and the transmission of culture, the continuity of societies, and the effective functioning and control to social group. So, the problem of the relationship between language, culture, and thought bother many linguists and philosophers since ancient time. To think about this problem, we need to begin with the definition of language and culture. Language is generally accepted as a system of arbitrary vocal symbol, which is used by human communication. And there is a most widely accepted definition of culture. Culture is the total accumulation of beliefs, customs, values, behaviors, institutions, and communication patterns that are shared, learned, and passed down through the generation of in an identifiable group of people. This is based on Linnell Davis. The definition of language and culture imply that the two are closely connected to each other. On one hand, culture seems to inclusive. It permeates almost every aspect of human life, including language people use. On the other hand, when people need to share culture, they communicate through language. The importance of language. This is for the personal communication. Language is not only a mode of communication between individuals, also a way of expression of their personality. We use language to inform the people around us about what we feel, about what we desire, and question and understand the world around us. So communicate effectively with our words, gesture, and tone of voice in a multitude of situations. Would you talk to a small child with the same words you would in a business meeting? Being able to communicate with each other form bonds, teamwork, and it's what separates human from other animal species. Communication drives our lives and better ourselves. Even with the ability of communicate with each other, misunderstandings often happen. However, communication is a two-way street that should be embraced, not ignored. Second, it's about personal development. Believe it or not, some people can be arrogant to believe that they can go to foreign countries without knowing anything about the language or culture of the people in the place they visit. The importance of language is beneficial regardless if you do it for fun or for your career or even just for personal travel. They expect the indigenous people to accommodate them and know their language. The importance of language isn't much different no matter what your nationality is. So honestly, if you were study Other languages, you will find that most of them are actually pretty similar. Mainly, the differences are in the alphabet, pronunciation, and grammar, with the syntax generally staying at the same. So we should use to show our understanding of the culture and lives of our fellow men in other land. We should go behind the other cell and see the speaker beneath.